Welcome to Quiz Elf. Today's challenge is all about Martin Luther King Jr., the man who changed history with his dream. Ready to test your brain? Let's jump in. What was the name of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s father? In what year did Dr. King give his famous "I Have a Dream" speech? In which city was Martin Luther King Jr. born? Which nonviolent protests did Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. lead? In what year did Dr. King receive the Nobel Peace Prize? What year was the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Who wrote the famous "I Have a Dream" speech? What was the name of Dr. King's most famous speech? What is the name of Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife? Dr. King wrote his legendary "I Have a Dream" speech just the night before the march on Washington, and parts of it were improvised live. Who did Martin Luther King Jr. give his "I Have a Dream" speech to? How old was Martin Luther King Jr. when he died? What year did Congress pass the Civil Rights Act? Which college did Martin Luther King Jr. attend? What did Martin Luther King Jr. win in 1964 for his work toward civil rights? Where is the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historical Park located? How many languages did Dr. King speak? At what age did Martin Luther King Jr. become a pastor? When was Martin Luther King Jr. born? Martin Luther King Jr. skipped 2 grades in school and entered college at just 15 years old. In what city was Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated? Who wrote the song "We Shall Overcome"? On what day is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday celebrated as a national holiday? What civil rights organization did Martin Luther King Jr. lead? How old was Dr. King when he gave his "I Have a Dream" speech? In what year did Congress make MLK Day a federal holiday? Which president signed the MLK holiday bill? In which motel was Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated? Which US state was last to recognize MLK Day as a holiday? Utah was the last U.S. state to recognize Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and that didn't happen until the year 2000. How many times was Martin Luther King Jr. jailed for peaceful protests? What year was MLK Day observed in all 50 states? At which monument did Martin Luther King Jr. give his I Have a Dream speech? What was Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth name? At what age did King enter college? In which subject did Martin Luther King Jr. earn his doctorate degree? King's first assassination attempt happened in which year? Before his famous name, Martin Luther King Jr. was actually named Michael King Jr. His father changed both their names after a trip to Germany. How many children did King have with his wife, Coretta Scott King? That's the end of the quiz. How many answers did you get right? Let us know in the comments, and keep learning from the dream that changed history.